always, always, always. All right. Hello, everybody. All right. Looks like we got a couple of people joining in right now. We're going to stay tuned for a couple more minutes here. Thank you guys for joining us so far. All right. Let's see. We got the silverback orangutan, James, and someone from Germany, Peter Griffin. How you doing? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everything else to you guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you guys for joining us today. Hopefully you're not at work like we are and you're out enjoying some fun. Can everybody hear me all right? Audio's good? All right, awesome. So as of right now, we are just kind of waiting to get a few more people on. We were going to open this stuff up for a ask us anything sort of thing. If you guys want to hear me yap about anything at all or nothing at all, I figure we could kill a few minutes. Sean's running a little behind counting in all the entries that we had. So he'll be out here hopefully in a few minutes. But until then, is there anything you guys want to chat about? Any questions, any thoughts about the bike industry, components, bike stuff, anything at all? I'd love to hear it. And also, actually, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We are always working and trying to figure out what kind of content you guys enjoy, what format, anything like that. We're basically what we're working on right now is we're going to probably do a full power e-bike shootout. Sorry for the moped haters. And what we're thinking about is having a sub $6,000 category subgroup in that shootout so that we can have some more affordable bikes as well as the top tier, no holds barred bike. Love to hear what you guys think about that. Or should all bikes be capped at $10,000? Open to thoughts there. Next up, Eric Solomon, Slow Man. Maybe you can answer this then. Enduro bike shootout, budget bike shootout, or downhill bike shootout? What would you guys like to see there? And yes, other than that, I'll start reading questions in the meantime. Eric, favorite trail? Gosh, dude, that is a really, really hard question. And I'll tell you why. I look at trails in two ways. One, there is the scenic experience of a trail, just where it is and the location. In that case, I would probably say anything in the Dolomites would be really high up on my list. Now, as far as like an actual riding experience, like just the trail itself, there's a trail out on the Pacific City on the Oregon coast, and that one's really high on my list. There's a couple of secret ones up in British Columbia that are really awesome as well. So, yeah. And of course, I just love riding back home. So anything back in Thousand Oaks or Simi Valley is always going to make me happy. Rocky, chunky stuff. Let's see. EP8 or Bafang. Honestly, I have not ridden a lot of Bafang motors. So I guess because of that, I'd have to maybe say EP8. How can I stop my e-bike going through brake pads so fast? The UK winter is killing me. That's a tough one. I would maybe say check your brake pad compound. You might need to go to a slightly less aggressive pad compound that will last longer. Of course, it's also not going to slow you down as well. And then just trying to make sure, maybe if you've got a water bottle, stopping and just, getting the sandpaper grit out of there. That'd be a good one. Hardtail content, Xavier. Okay, interesting. Okay. That was not on our list of stuff, but thank you for sharing that. Hardtail content added to the list. The most underrated bike brand. All right, well, I'm gonna say the most underrated suspension brand, SR Sun Tour. The stuff's heavy, but dang, their top tier stuff really works. Underrated bike brand. Okay, I'll break this into two categories because I think there's an underrated budget brands and then there's underrated, higher performing brands. I would say underrated budget brands. I would honestly, two of them right here. Polygon has some really good bikes that are quite affordable, and not every one of them is amazing, but like they're pretty dang good. And for the price, they make some pretty good bikes. Now underrated for like other higher end stuff. I feel like they're on the come up, but I think Fazari, and I know a lot of people discredit them because of their name. I think Fazari is up there. I think GT, honestly, has a couple of really good bikes. And I don't think people give GT the credit. Like, they did have some bad years and some not great bikes, but I think GT's got a couple really sweet ones, especially the Fury. I'm looking at a Fury DH frame right there that I cannot wait to get built. So, let's see. Content. Do you have content on what to look for when purchasing a used bike? We may have touched on it in other videos, but that's not a bad idea. I will add that to our list and we'll work on that for sure. Let's see. Any thoughts on the Banshee? Gosh, I haven't ridden a Banshee for a really long time. Would you aggressive hardtail shootout? Yes, I would consider that. I would consider that. Diamondback. Interesting, Eric. Yeah, I could see that. They have a couple bikes for sure. They do have a couple bikes that are pretty sweet. And I know I'm missing some for sure. But let's see. What are your thoughts on the new pinion gear motor? Is that technology the future of e-bikes? Gosh, dude, that's a tough one, Jeff. And I hate to sound like the, I don't know, this weird tinfoil hat guy, but that'd kind of be like asking, Shell and Mobil and Exxon about the future of electric cars. Are Shimano and SRAM really going to allow the derailleur to fade away? I don't know. Is there a corporate, conspiracy theory? I don't think so, but maybe. I think it's a few years away, and from what I have heard and people I've talked to, if gearbox are going to make inroads and growth, it will be in the e-bike segment for sure, because you've already got weight, you've already got assist. So if it's going to happen somewhere, it will happen in e-bikes. And I would say that in 5 years, we could potentially see some brands having them. I should say, and when I say some, I mean more than like the one or two. I think there could be some brands that like offer a model to see how it does. Let's see. Favorite trail in Thousand Oaks. Todd, what's happening, man? I would say two of my favorites that have sadly changed a lot would be Dead Cow and Suicide. They've changed a lot, but I guess I still have a nostalgic hold on those since I literally, grew up riding on those trails. So Dead Cow and Suicide are high on my list. I also have really been enjoying Spectrum lately. That's a good one. So anyways, let's see. What do you think about the whole nuke-proof Vitus chain reaction situation? That is a real bummer. There was a really long article that someone shared that was written, I think, by some ex-employees there, and it went into some depth and made me think about stuff that I didn't think about. That's the kind of the downside really when you get into some, funding and, money that comes backed by these companies that have stipulations and terms and all this sort of stuff. things can get pulled out from underneath you. I know a lot of the people that worked for the U.S. offices for both Vitus and Nuke Proof. They were awesome people. They've been around in the bike industry for a really long time, and it was really sad. I mean, like, you know, I was actually driving to go film a video project with someone from Vitus on a new bike that was supposed to be coming out, and he was like, you know, hours into his drive to go meet us in Klamath Falls, and he called me on the side of the road, and he's like, dude, my phone just started getting blown up. So it was like as big of a surprise to him as anyone else. So it's it was unfortunate, and I'm sure it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So let's see. How many bikes are in my personal stable? Well, that I personally own, not so many anymore. For the first several years, I used to always try to have a personal bike that I would buy and build, and I just sadly found that I hardly ever got to ride it. And they would just sit there and look pretty and make me sad that I couldn't ride them as much as I wanted. So yeah, I would say right now, as far as like nostalgic bikes, I've got this Dyno Taboo Tiki Beach Cruiser. I have this guy right here, which is the Specialized FSR Extreme. It's a size small, but it was the first dual suspension mountain bike I ever had. And then, gosh, I don't know if I really own any other bikes, to be honest, like mountain bikes, I should say. But I do have some bikes that I keep or temporarily repossess. One of them is a Fazari Tim Peak, a Fazari Delano Peak. I've got a Pivot Shuttle LT and the Transition Relay. Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Oh, hi.
Also the Pivot Mach 6. So yeah, and the Pivot Switchblade. So there's a few bikes around that we've sort of kept and repossessed. Also the Trek Fuel EXE. Oh, and the Trek Slash. That's kind of like been my go-to bike park bike because that thing rips. I did, and Sean he's wrapping his arms around the Pivot Switchblade right now. He loves that bike. So let's see. Where are you dudes at the Loam Wolf located? Well, we're originally Southern California guys from the Los Angeles area, but we now live in Bend, Oregon.
California.
Yes. Let's see. More review channels focusing on the lowest end build, whatever popular model when judging a bike. Yeah, AT, that is something that we are conscious and aware of. And in the last month or two, as we're planning for 2024, we're definitely going to be making some requests to brands to send us some stuff in the more, lower price and affordable spots. So have you ever been to Ray's in Cleveland? I have not. It would be sweet to check that spot out, but I've not been there. Would you buy a new Wild with an alloy frame? Yeah, I love alloy bikes. And I think I've told most of the brands that we work closely with that, like to send us bikes and products and stuff. I am pretty much telling everyone, send me the alloy version if you can, because I'm on a big alloy kick right now. All right. Let's see. DD. Yeah, Matt Bass. It's I could imagine people. I mean, shoot, dude, prime example, this Vitus that we're giving away, like we were surprised at how few people actually entered. And I would imagine that's probably because, Vitus is temporarily not around. I think they're going to come back. Don't quote me on it, but I do think budget stuff's going to get sorted and new investors will come. We'll see. I'm totally speculating, but I think they'll be back. But they're still good bikes. And I guess the only downside is the support thing, right? If you break something, if you have problems, and I get that, that's a very real concern. Trek Roscoe hardtails. Yeah, those are pretty sweet. I think we tested one actually a while ago, a Trek Roscoe.
Yeah, we gave it away.
Yeah. Who said that? Peter Griffin, Trek Roscoe. We did a review. We actually also gave that bike away a couple years ago. And I even think we had another test one that somebody bought. What was his name? That guy locally here. So yeah.
21.
Oh, okay.
And then JMO bought the Stoic.
That's right. Yeah. The Canyon Stoic was another hardtail we did a review on. That thing was pretty sweet. Andrew, the video series on buying used bikes. Good idea. The hard part with that is, it's always a risk and it's always a gamble. And, the way people can be these days, we would just hate for someone to be like, oh, well, you told me to do this and that, and now it's your fault that I ended up buying a lemon, or I bought a bike that snapped on me. And it can get tricky the way the world is, with people and lawsuits and all that stuff. But we'll figure out a way that we can do something like that is not official advice, but would be what we would do in that situation. Maybe that's our legal get around. So let's see. Xavier apparently is like the hardtail master here. Scouting with Anthony. What do you think about using a hardtail? Gosh, you guys, hardtails, huh? That's the thing. Using it in the winter and full sus in the summer. I would say, and using the same build between the two. Well, okay, you lost me there. So are you saying by same build, do you mean you're taking parts off of the hardtail and then putting them on the dual suspension bike? Because if that's the case, you're only really saving wear and tear on the bearings and the paint on your frame and the rear shock, which is pretty minimal. And yeah, I mean, I think drivetrain, brake pads, as someone already asked about, like, that's the stuff that's the high miles, high wear and tear stuff. So if it was me, I would just get a more affordable hardtail that's kind of the beater bike and just beat that in the winter. Plus hardtails, I'm a big fan of hardtails. I grew up, before dual suspension bikes were really a thing, and hardtails teach you a lot of good techniques, skills, line selection. So yeah. But then again, there's kids today that never even rode a hardtail and they can outride me. So what do I know? Maybe I'm just an old dinosaur. What do you think? Let's see. That's that. The used bike market is so good right now. Yeah, you are correct. If you can't, God, I don't know. I would hate to be trying to sell a used bike right now. It's bad. Propane Econo. Yeah, we're working on getting a propane for sure. Let's see. V tires. Honestly, I haven't ridden any V tires. Did Robert ride those?
Robert Cole.
Yeah, someone rode V tires in our group. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a factory down tube protector on the Polygon behind you? Yes, it is. But this is the e-bike version. It's the Siskiyou T8. What bike were you talking about here? Oh, the T8E. This is the e-bike version. So it's a much thicker, bigger down tube. So it does have a bigger down tube. Thank you, the Silverback, for that. Let's see. Hey, are you hearing anything on when e-bikes will be allowed in Bend? Yeah, actually, I'm in an email group with a group of people. They're kind of like an older group of folks that are really active. They actually had a meeting with the U.S. Forest Service, and it looks like they may be doing some impact studies early next year, 2024, on the Phil's Trail Network as like a test sample area. So hopefully soon, but we'll see. Thoughts on frame only e-bikes? I've been pushing bike brands, everybody that we talk to, on making it happen. I think for the last couple of years, due to COVID and stuff just flying off the shelves, and people just selling out so fast that people didn't want to pull what they could make on selling a complete bike to sell frames. But I think now, with stuff slowing down as much as it has, I think we could potentially see e-bike frames being offered in the future. Let's see. Hardtails are making a big comeback. All right. Well, I guess I'm out of the loop on that, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. Could you do a review comparing single crown forks stanchions over 36, Manitou Mezzer, DVO Onyx 38, and Fox 38? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We'll get to work on that. Does Suntour have a 38 mil fork?
Yes.
They do. So we're gonna add Suntour because I already said they're my favorite underrated suspension brand.
They're a left right there.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's 38.
I don't know. That doesn't look 38. That doesn't look like a 38, does it?
I'm pretty sure.
I can't.
38.
Maybe it is. There are kids today who have never ridden a non e-bike. That is for sure true and mind blowing. But you know, there's kids today who never rode rim brakes or had to deal with Mr. Tuffy liners or inner tubes like I did. So I don't know. I mean, at some point we're all just dinosaurs and grumpy old men or women. So I don't know, right? Like, yeah, to me, the fact that some kid's first mountain bike might be an e-mountain bike is insane. But at the same time, you know, as someone who started riding with 1.9 or 2-inch wide tires with Mr. Tuffy liners and inner tubes and rim brakes, like, I don't know, I guess technology is just doing what it's doing. So, yeah, scouting with Anthony. Yeah, I would say if you can find one of those bikes and it's a good deal and you're not like, I don't know, 220 pounds and doing like 10-foot drops to flat off loading docks and you're probably not going to snap the frame, dude, take that deal. They're sweet bikes. They ride really well. Like, this is a sweet bike. Like, if I was on a budget, this would be high on my list of bikes I would personally buy. All right. Loved the Highland video. Hey, right on. Thank you. Appreciate it. Highland was a blast. We're hoping to get back to the East Coast again. A lot of us, we all want to go back to Killington so bad. That is our new favorite bike park. So hopefully we can get out there this summer. Let's see. Favorite rider of all times. Gosh, that's a tough one. Sean, do you have one? I'm going to put that in the back of my head for a minute and think about this because
if we're going free ride, Andreu
Lacondi, if you're going free ride.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a racer favorite?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put that one in the back of my head, Frank. And if I forget about it, remind me. The pain of bear claws and bloody shinners. Yeah, you're right, dude. Why did the mountain bike bring a map to the trail? Am I hearing a joke coming right here? Because it wanted to take the scenic route and avoid getting tired of the same old trails. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Sam Hill. Okay. All right. Yeah, that dude's high on the list for sure. Let's see. Tire inserts or no. None of my personal bikes have them, for better or worse. I don't know. They're a hassle. They're heavy. I'd rather just have a little more durable casing tire. Speaking of tire casings, I can't say very much, but something's coming next year that is going to be revolutionary to the tire casing game for one brand in particular and might make tire casings even more unnecessary. But I think there's a value to some people running them for sure. But yeah, just not for me. If you had to name 3 deities of mountain biking, who would they be? Well, all right. In my head, Palmer, Vanderham, and I mean, Kyle Strait. I mean, if you think about what he did at 15, 16 years old, Bender, probably. Yeah, I would probably go Palmer, Vanderham, Bender. Because that kind of covers everything from like racing and attitude to style to big sense. I think that's a pretty fair mix for me. Gotta be Nikolai. Okay. All right. Hilly Rhodes is just going in there, huh? Los Lobos jersey's making a comeback. All right, we got maybe a Dodgers fan. We might bring those back. Favorite front back tire combo. Hilly Roads they're just rolling out jokes here. Favorite front back tire combo. Okay. Up until fairly recently, I would say the new Magic Mary Big Betty combo was really high on my list. However, you might have seen we just reviewed the Schwalbe Tacky Chans, and I freaking love that tire. Yeah, that thing's.
I was running Tacky Betty.
You're running a Tacky Betty
on the Switchblade for Guatemala.
Okay. Sean was running a Tacky up front and a Big Betty in the back. He really liked that. So, yeah. And Caro, yeah, she was as far as the ladies go, I mean, what a legend. I mean, she was unstoppable for a long time. God, oh yeah, I keep thinking about my all-time favorite rider. Bear Claw? Oh, Brendan. Brendog? No, I love Brendog, but no, he wouldn't be up there on my favorite list. He is, I mean, racing style, smoothness.
Rampage robberies.
Yeah, Rampage robberies. That's sad. Man, I don't know, because that's so hard for me, because like I have just so many nostalgic like childhood riders that I loved from watching, VHS videos, but obviously some of the riders and racers from today are just at a completely other level, and what they're doing is insane. So, but that kind of leads me to Peter Griffin's question of my favorite mountain bike discipline. Absolutely, without a doubt, 100% downhill. Not even close. Downhill is the best part of mountain biking, period. So let's see. Semenuk is the GOAT of free riding. Dude's insanely smooth and insanely skilled. Yeah, pretty wild. So, let's see.
You can dive into your favorite new thing about mountain bikes: one-piece bar stem combos.
Oh goodness. Hey, do any of you guys like one-piece bar stem combos? We would like to know how many of you guys like and would love to buy a bike that had a one-piece bar stem combo on there. Merry Christmas, Kelly. Thank you. Josh Grant, thank you. WeldTech Designs, I am a huge fan. Their stuff is badass. What is that, the Grocery Getter? Oh, man, that thing is sweet. I see lots of no's on the one-piece bar stem combo. You're all making me very proud. Thank you. Terrible idea. None of us. Yeah. I reached out to 4 bike companies about the one-piece bar stem combo because we've sort of talked badly about them in one of our reviews recently. That and I don't know, some people off the record would laugh and agree with us, and then they would pass us to someone else at the company that would have a little bit more of a PC answer, or they would say, we do this many thousand demo bikes a year, demo rides a year, and 80% of people don't complain or don't want to adjust the bar stem. They never touch it. So, I guess in their heads, you people here are the minority. You are the discerning rider who knows stuff, and the majority of people just get on a bike and ride it, I guess, is where that goes. I don't know. Any products that you reviewed that you were actually disappointed by? I'm trying to think if there was any this year. There definitely have been, yes. I'm trying to think if there were any this year. What are you smiling about?
T-type.
Oh. I wasn't disappointed by it. I felt that the hype and the revolutionary claims were a little bit off. Yeah, Sean mentioned SRAM's transmission, which really is still just a derailleur. But so yeah, when they first emailed and said that a revolution is coming, I thought they were ditching the derailleur, and they said shifting will never be the same, but it was still just a derailleur. So the performance of it didn't really let me down, but the thought that I actually thought something really drastically different from a derailleur was going to be different. So, let's see. What? I'm trying to think. There's definitely been stuff that's let me down. Oh, SRAM's G2 brakes. Those things are, I don't think we've, had very many good experiences with those. We had a couple of like some wheels that broke a couple times on us 2 years ago, but then they got redesigned. So those, but I wasn't like super excited about them. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff recently has been pretty good. And like the stuff that has let us down is like really like little teeny tiny stuff, you know? Yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on single speed mountain bikes. Used to have one. It was fun to ride, but at the same time, the more, I don't know, things in life changed, the more, I don't know, kid, job, this, that, the other, I felt like my time on the trail got less and less. So when I did go out and actually get to ride a mountain bike, it mattered, and I wanted to have as much fun and go as far as fast as possible. So I don't know. I mean, like, sure, if, you know, back when I was young and single and had time and I got to go on, 5-hour road rides in the day and go out for every kind of ride every day of the week, they were cool. But now I just, I want to maximize my on-trail efforts and time, and that means gears and suspension. So, yeah. I hope that answered your question. I don't know if it did or not. Let's see. Did you ever try this super derailleur that is tucked away between the seat and the chainstay? Oh, we have not. We saw that guy at Eurobike, but no. Have not tried it or ridden it, I should say. Hey, what's up? Good to see you live too, GemX. I miss 5-hour road rides too, man. Dude, I miss going into the pain cave. Just go out 5 hours, climb. We do 5, 6, 7,000 feet elevation. Back I would start in Thousand Oaks and ride up, and I would basically go from Thousand Oaks over the Santa Monica Mountains, do epic canyon rides down to PCH, ride around through Malibu, come back over into the valley, and I would do like 3 or 4 of those, and then just eat some food and lay down with my legs in the air, no cares in the world. Man, to be young and single again. My favorite brake brand, well, I don't know. I like TRPs a lot. I got a new set of Hopes for our Levo project. I know people really like those. I think Shimano has some really good brakes, and I've had some good experiences with some of the SRAM codes as well. So I don't know if there's like necessarily like, well, okay. If I was going to build my own bike, I would probably pick TRP DHR Evos. So I guess that makes them my favorite. I probably would next put up Shimano's. I like the Shimano's quite a bit. The SLX brakes are sick. XT brakes are great. So, yeah. Let's see. If you traveled without your bike and had to rent, what items from your bike would you take with you to make your riding enjoyable? Well, as someone who does travel to ride all the time, and I am constantly riding other people's bikes, right? Like every time we go to a media camp, I fly somewhere and we ride somebody else's bike. Granted, they're usually brand new bikes, but I always take my pedals, and sometimes I'll take my grips, especially if I'm going to a canyon camp, because canyon grips suck. Any canyon owners out there who can agree? SLX quad pistons, yes, dude. Frank, right? Awesome. And they're affordable, like for sure. Formula is very underrated. Yeah, I haven't ridden Formula brakes for a really long time. Yeah. Let's see. What else? So yeah, pedals, grips, I guess maybe seat if you're particular. In our position, we are always riding new bikes, so it's like, I think because we're constantly switching, we're always used to being on something different, and it's not a big deal. And we find that, like, if we bring one of our friends out who like only rides his bike and he hops on a bike that we've ridden, he'll be like, oh my God, this seat's killing me or this or that. And we're like, oh, we've ridden that bike 3 times already and we didn't notice. So yeah, I guess grips, pedals, saddle. Thoughts about Frankenstein brake combos like Shigura. I know people talk about them. We last year during Sea Otter, we stopped into the Magura booth and we're talking to someone, and I asked that question, and Jude Monica, who's like I don't know what you would call him, the master master ninja of Magura brakes and brake bleeds and brake tech. He heard my question in front of the tent and ripped the Velcro and said, "Why would you ever do that?" And he wasn't a fan because he's like, you're literally taking what we've worked to design and make to be an optimal system and like Frankensteining it. So I haven't ridden it. I hear some people love it. But I would imagine people from Shimano and Magura would both say there's no way it's going to work better because it's not designed to work together. So I don't know. Do I have thoughts on the NICA program? I mean, overall, my takeaway is I absolutely love it. It's awesome. I wish it was around when I was a kid. Yeah, getting kids on mountain bikes is rad, and it gets parents on mountain bikes. It exposes more people to the sport of mountain biking. I'm stoked. So I have heard, though, that like you can get like penalties if your tires come off the ground. Like they don't want jumping. So it definitely seems a little more XC, but ultimately it's getting more people on mountain bikes. So like, if there's some little stuff to nitpick here and there, sure there always is, but for the most part, I would say that is a huge win for mountain biking. Thank you, Blue Goose. Glad you could make it. P&W are your favorite grips? All right. I like their grips, actually. Ergon's got a new grip coming out that we have been riding lately, which is really sweet.
I'm all about the one-up thin grips.
One-up thin grips. Sean's really liking the one-up thin grips. I've been running the one-up thin and thick, and I've been going back and forth. And I'm really happy with them right now. Best OE grips. Let's ask you guys. Pivot. Their factory grips are amazing, and I think Santa Cruz has a really good grip too, right now.
Yeah. Well, I think they're both using lizard skin.
Okay, so dude, Pivot's grips are sick. I really like those, and Santa Cruz has some pretty good ones. Oh, not the Palmdale, I don't think. It's the other grip. That's really good. But yeah, I like One Up, P&W. I really like Ergon grips a lot, though. Like there's a couple, I know they have so many models and I can't even remember.
I think you're usually on GF1.
Yeah, GF1, and they do have a really thin race grip that like if I'm like gonna go for a race run, it is absolutely the best. Let's see. What's your opinion on Shimano Q's 11 speed? I haven't done a ton with it, but we did do the review on the Link Glide 11 speed, which is maybe similar. Some could argue, and I really like it. I have it on both of my personal bikes, the Fazari Tim Peak and the Pivot Shuttle LT. Both have Link Glide. We reviewed it. I did a video. It's written up on the website. If I was buying a drivetrain, I would for sure consider that. Chris Kokalis even called me from Pivot's CEO after we published the review and was like, "Hey, dude, is that real? No BS?" And I said, "For sure." And he's like, "We might consider offering a Pivot shuttle build with that as a way to get some more affordable shuttle e-bikes out there." And I think it's a great drivetrain, especially for e-bikes. SRAM DB8 versus Shimano SLX. Shimano SLX. Q's content would be nice. Okay. Scariest encounter you had while riding? Well, golly, I'm gonna have to search deep on that one. Now, when you say scariest, I'm trying to think, does that mean like wildlife? Does that mean like a near crash where I almost died? Does that mean like an actual injury? There's definitely
angry person.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've had an angry person ever pull weapons on me. I don't know about that. Definitely been some fights. Unfortunately, I'm not proud to say, but there have been some shoving incidences, but not because of me or my attitude. So I will say scariest encounters. I'll break them down. I've had two. Well, so I've had a total of 6 mountain lion encounters. Most of them were actually back home in Thousand Oaks, Santa Monica Mountains. And I would say one of them was a night ride in Sycamore Canyon, like Newbury Park, Thousand Oaks area. I was training for the BC bike race, and my partner that I was doing the bike race with, he could only ride at nights because he had a strict work schedule. So we were doing like 4 or 5 hour night rides in Sycamore Canyon. And there was a section that was, yeah, I'll say it here. It was closed to mountain bikers. It was a hiking only section of the park. But it was nighttime, so we figured it would be safe if we didn't see the sign. And so we're out in this big grassy meadow. It was probably waist high grass, and we're just on this slow, long climb in a big open meadow. And we saw like mountain lion eyes and head in the bush, and the trail was like going directly towards where the cat was. And he just was following us in the bushes as we got closer and closer to the trail. And there was like, because we were in a meadow, there was no sticks, there was no rocks, wasn't really much of anything we could pick up to try to scare it. So luckily we kind of kept going, and he spaced himself away. Another time we came around a corner and saw a coyote in the middle of the trail, like with blood squirting out of its neck. And we heard the bushes rustling, and we were like, oh man, this dude just killed this guy. And we went and took off. We came back on our loop 30 minutes later, and the coyote was gone. I would say Oak Ridge, Oregon, the one mountain lion I've seen here. I rounded a corner on Alpine Trail, which is like super high speed. Like, I don't know. It feels like you're going 40 because it's so narrow and it's on like the side of a hill, but realistically it was probably 25 or 30. But I round this corner, and it was like a blind cliff on the uphill inside. So I round the corner, and I just see this animal coming up the trail, and I'm like, that's a big dog. And then I see just like the diamond shaped face, and I'm like, shoot, that is not a dog. And I screamed like a girl, just screaming. I skidded the brakes. Dude, the cat, I'm not joking, the trail is this wide and it's like a cliff. The cat jumped up 3 feet in the air, did a 180 midair, and took off sprinting the other way as I was skidding and catching up to it. And I just leaned myself and my bike into the hill, and the guys behind me just came around the corner in time to see the tail of the cat running around the corner. And that one absolutely scared the crap out of me for sure. And then, yeah, I guess as far as an injury, when I was in Squamish and hit a tree with my head and broke my neck and back, that was probably the most scary crash, just because of the amount of pain I was in and the tingling sensations I had. So those would be top lists of my scary encounters on the trail. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a ramble. Let's see.
Someone on Instagram wants to know what you're most excited for mountain bike wise in 2024.
What am I most excited for mountain bike wise in 24? I'm gonna shelf that one. I don't know. Vitus bikes are awesome. Yeah. I think they'll be back. Other brands have gone under and been bought out. Look at Twinkies, one of my favorite snacks. Remember, Hostess went bankrupt. Twinkies were gonna go bye-bye. They're back. Go to your local gas station. Let's see. Best gloves. Well, our Tasco collab, Loam Wolf gloves, of course. Go buy yourself a set in the web store. But other than that, in reality, the Fox Flex Airs, right? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
No, that the ones that have the little knuckle pads. The Fox Flex Airs, absolutely love them. Also, Liat has some really, really good gloves, and I love their micro grip texture. Yeah, Liat and Fox for sure, I would say. Santa Cruz grips, yep, solid. Will you make an appearance at Bentonville Bike Fest? To be determined. Maybe.
When is it this year?
I can't remember when it is. It's like May or June or something like that. It's a little earlier, I think.
Time it around the e-bike shootout.
Yeah. If you had to lose dropper, post, or gears, what would you choose? Dang, that is a tough question, dude. Dang. I feel like I would have to choose dropper because gears, you're using gear. Yeah, for sure. You're using 10 shifts for every flick of the post. So yeah, it's gotta be dropper post. Do you have more fun jumping a lighter bike? An argument for mid power. Yeah. I also have gotten to a point where I've ridden full power e-bikes so much that I sometimes feel more stable on big ones, especially on really, really big jumps. For me, really, really big jumps. You know, for other people, they might be small, but yeah, like if I'm hitting, 30, 40 plus foot jumps, like the full power, sometimes I'm like, I thought I would want to hit this on a lighter bike, but now I'm worried. Like I almost feel like that weight gives me a little more balance. So yeah, on smaller jumps, more playful trails for sure. And SL is lighter and it is more fun, but I don't not have fun on full power e-bikes. So thanks for the connect with Jeremy at GT for the Inglewood bike giveaway. What's up, man? Stoked you're here, and I'm really excited to see how that giveaway goes. Yeah. Oh, Frank, you know what? Speaking of bears, that reminds me of a time I was following Jerome Clements at a media camp in Whistler. We were off the mountain doing some stuff. And so I was right behind Jerome Clements, and we rounded a corner, and it was like a tunnel of bushes, and there was a freaking black bear right in front of us. We round the corner, and like the bear had nowhere to go. We had nowhere to go. We're just skidding and sliding. The bear just jumped up the closest tree that was next to it. The tree must have been like this big around. The bear shimmies up the tree, and the tree starts bowing like this. And the bear's like grabbing, and the tree's like bent over to where the bear was basically like we could touch it. It was so low. And we were just like, oh crap. And we just started backing up. And like the whole rest of the train from the media camp was catching up. And we were like, stop. And we had to back up and let the bear come down from the tree. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Let's see. A fox crashed into me and got stuck in my spoke and cranks and cracked his back. Whoa. Ouch. That sounds gnarly. Jeff, how often do you crash? Do you ride more conservative? Yeah, Jeff. Well, I just turned 41 2 days ago. I broke my back and my neck 6 years ago. I've had a few shoulder surgeries. I've broken collarbones and knee surgeries and lots of stuff. Needless to say, yes, I have slowed down. I am more cautious. I am much more okay saying no, or I'll be back next time, or I don't have to hit that today. For a long time in my 20s and even into my 30s, even if I knew I could do something and I didn't want to do it, I would kind of force myself, and if I didn't, I'd go home and be mad and I couldn't fall asleep. But it's gotten easier as I got older. So yeah, I don't crash a ton anymore. I definitely ride a little, knock on wood. I don't quite ride at the edges of my limit as I used to. And yeah, I got to work, right? Like if I hurt myself, I can't film videos. I can't test bikes. Like it's hard to type with a cast on. So yeah.
Just leave the crashing to me.
Yeah. I leave the crashing to Sean and Max and Robert, and man, all you guys are on a streak right now. So, all right, let's see. Potential content, cinematic, scary MTV stories. That's a great idea. We could do reenactments like those TV shows where you have like the actors and like the fake Anna. That's that's pretty funny. Yeah. Regarding the transmission, it's directly mounted to the frame. It holds up under load, but also delivers power and current. Did you notice that? For sure. I mean, you can shift under mega power, whether that's standing up and max power from your legs, or if you're on an e-bike. Absolutely. Yeah. Like you can shift under power. I will say though, even when you're not under power, the shifting on the transmission stuff is a little bit slower. And
I still feel like it makes a lot of noise.
It does make a lot of noise. Like it can sometimes make some painful noises where you're like, oh God, but nothing bad has happened yet. But I will say the Shimano Link Glide stuff, I feel like I can shift under every bit of power as the transmission. So I don't know. Favorite bike brand? Boy, that's a tough one. There's a lot of brands I really like. If I were to pick like a brand that's the most consistent, because there are brands who make some bikes I really like and some bikes that I don't really jive with, right? Like for example, like Santa Cruz, I love the V10. But like a lot of their shorter travel bikes and their full power e-bikes, I don't really love because I'm just not a huge VPP fan, which you guys might already know. So like cool brand image though and stuff. They're athletes and stuff. I mean, so there's stuff like that. Trek, they have some really cool bikes, but they have some bikes that are not quite for me. So I would say if I had to pick a favorite brand, I will pick that from a product standpoint, not so much an image standpoint. The most consistent bike company to me, every one of their bikes is rad. Pivot. I think like whether it's their short travel bike to their downhill bike, like Pivot doesn't really make a bike that I wouldn't be stoked on. Like they kill it. So yeah. Let's see here. What fictional character best represents you? That's a tough one.
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam? I don't even really know what he does. Fictional character. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. L1. Youch. That's a tough one. I'm sure that hurts. Yeah, I did C7 in my neck and T345 in the upper back. So 2024 goals for the YouTube channel. Well, obviously, I hope it's not a 2024 goal. I hope we can do it in 2023, but hit 100,000 subscribers. We're 1,500 away. So tell your friends, please. Let's see. If you could build yourself a dream single speed, what would the format be? 29 plus fat bike, super light, full rigid XC bike. Well, I mean, gosh.
How about just dirt jumper?
Dirt jumper. Yeah, can I pick a dirt jumper? Would be my single speed hardtail. That'd be sweet. I don't know. I'd probably pick something with like kind of a little bit of a harder gear and like a 140 fork. Like I might do like an aggressive, a little bit of an aggressive geode hardtail, especially for like around bend that I could just like stand up and sprint real fast, but like had a good geo that I could slam corners and hit some big jumps on. That'd be fun.
I feel like it'd be that Marin that Dario tested.
Oh, the Marin Elroy. Yeah. Is there any time you would recommend tire pressure over 30 PSI? If I was pedaling on the road to get somewhere. Yeah, pump track. I would say like a really well hard packed flow trail where there's like high G berms or like really big lips where you're pressing into it. And of course weight, right? Rider weight and also tire casing. Like if I, was riding a really thin casing tire on a trail with like big, tall berms and G's, I would ride over 30 PSI for sure. But if I'm riding a properly cased tire, a downhill or a gravity enduro casing, then yeah, I'm usually in the 20s too. Are you very experienced with Trek top fuels? Do you think the 8 or the 8XT is better? It's been a while since I've ridden a top fuel. I like them. They're pretty sweet. And I would say 8 or 8XT is kind of up to you on what you like spec wise. So, pump it and feel solid. That's the only measurement I'll ever use. Yeah. For some tires, we're pretty calibrated. The old, we've squeezed enough Maxxis tires to know we're pretty close, but there's some other brands that we hop on. I'm like, you're not calibrated. So let's see. E-bike natural trails or bike park uplift? Well, I mean, if I have a downhill bike park uplift for sure. Peter Griffin, I'm also a fan of your show. All right. Well, Bikes with the strongest rear triangle. We are bouncing on back wheel like crazy with trials tricks. Oh, I don't know. Who's got a really stiff rear triangle?
Not Haro.
Not Haro. Well, Santa Cruz, I don't know. I feel like Santa Cruz has got a really stiff rear triangle. But anyways, okay. Should we get into the giveaway announcement, or do you guys want to sit here and listen to me yap some more? I feel like we should probably get to the giveaway because I feel like I've talked a lot. So I imagine you guys don't want to listen to me anymore. All right, Sean, are you going to spin the wheel? What are we going to do over here? So giveaway time. Everybody, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. Yeah, awesome. Like seriously, you guys being involved, you guys showing up, leaving comments, subscribing, and not only leaving positive comments, like when you guys are respectful and polite and tell us how we can do stuff better or what you would like to see, like it really means a lot to us. You know, our job is to educate you guys, entertain you guys, inform you guys, whatever it is. So we want to do the best job that we can do. And you watching and helping us is what allows us to do that. Because if you guys weren't here, you know, brands wouldn't care either. So thank you guys. That being said, let's have Sean spin the wheel and see who the winner.
Should I hit this button?
How many times should he spin the button?
1 to 10.
You got 5 between the numbers 1 and 5. How many times should Sean spin the wheel to select the winner? The first person to answer is going to be the selection. 4, because 7 is not an option between 1 and 5. Xavier, come on. Figures a hardtail guy would say, not listen. All right, so 4 times. Sean, spin the wheel 4 times. Oh boy. Michael Jaquilino? Jaquilino? I'm going to go with Jaquilino. It sounds Spanish, so I'm going to say it's a soft J. Is that right? Let's see if we can find any more information on Michael Jaquilino.
Looks like Michael Aquilino.
Aquino? Michael Aquino? I don't know. Where's he from?
Stevenon, Washington.
Stevenon, Washington? Where's that? Anybody know where Stevenon, Washington is? I've never heard of Stevenon. Anyways, we'll send you an email, Michael. I guess maybe you're here, maybe you're not. But thank you all for entering again. We appreciate you very much. Yeah, have a good Christmas. Have a good rest of Hanukkah, holiday season, whatever you celebrate. And we appreciate you very much. Again, I'm sure we'll see you in some more videos. And if not, we'll catch you on the trails. So thank you. Have a good one.
I'm glad it's somebody in the US.